Hi, my name's Suzette Brissett from South London and I'm a choreographer. When I was younger, I used to listen to all sorts of music, pop music, Spice Girls, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Missy Elliott, Genuine, the list just goes on. I just used to have the passion of just watching MTV and literally, you know when you used to record it, I used to record all the music videos and all the live shows. There was one specific one that I recorded was Britney Spears. I think it was the EMAs and she was wearing like a red dress and like red gloves and stuff, and then she was just like, oh baby, baby. I used to think, oh, this is so sick. And I just used to be so inspired and stuff and just like literally copying all the dance moves, like literally back to back copying all the dance moves and stuff. It was just a weird transition. It was just like, I didn't think that I would be where I am now, being a little girl watching MTV and listening to music on my radio and thinking, oh, I'm a choreographer up to this day, or being a dancer. People that really inspired me growing up, Missy Elliott, that her music videos back then used to be so crazy. NSYNC, best boy band ever. Like their dance move was slick. Obviously Britney Spears, she's my idol. Like she made me want to dance. Spice Girls, Wannabe. When I watched that video and I started copying the dance routines, I was to be like, this is sick. Usher, definitely Usher. When he did, you made me want to be, I can't sing. When he did that, and when he had the, what's it called? His chain, and he was like, and he started doing the glide, I was like, oi! And Aaliyah, oh, Aaliyah was the one when she did, boy, I've been watching you like a, And from there, I went to school. I wasn't really good with academic stuff. Didn't really care about really learning. I only went there to socialise really, to hang out with my friends and stuff. I used to do dance, so I studied like dance for GCSEs and everything. And then even still then, I didn't know where it could really take me. I remember it wasn't my English teacher, but there was an English teacher in school, and she was like, oh, are you gonna be a dancer when you grow up? And I was just like, I don't know. Still watching everyone on music videos and stuff, I still didn't think that I could make a career out of what I'm doing. That I'm talking about back then as a dancer, before I like transitioned to do choreography. And the only reason why she said that, because in year 8, my first ever performance was to Aaliyah. I wore red jeans, red t-shirt, red bandana, red trainers, and I did it to that song, Somebody. And I remember it was like, dirty, can you really feel me? I got a bandana out, East Coast, West Coast, and everyone went mad. Everyone was just like, oh my God, you're such a great dancer and everything. But still then, it didn't acknowledge in my head that I could make a living and a career out of it. I auditioned to go to the Brits. I went to the audition. I did really well, although I remember I didn't get in, and I didn't get in because my teacher, my GCSE teacher at the time predicted me a C, didn't get into the Brits. And then when I got my GCSE back, I got an A star. So I was just like, he predicted me a C and I ended up getting an A star and I could have gone to the Brits. But in a way, I'm not really angry at it because I think in life, everything happens for a reason. I went sixth form. There was about it was the brand new sixth form back then. Only reason why they got me into going to sixth form is because they said they got laptops. And I was like, well, I'm definitely going. We got 3 laptops, definitely gonna go. It was about 3 of us that was doing dance A-levels. Then 2 dropped out and it was just me and the teacher. And literally everyone else was studying law, they were studying English or media studies and stuff, and that didn't really interest me. Well, I knew that I don't know where it's gonna take me, but I wanna study dance. I did my AS level, I hated it there, really hated it. And I got my AS levels, and then he told me to go to Lucian College. I ended up going to Lucian College. I think from there, that's when everything really transitioned for me, because I basically hanged out with a group of girls, some that had the same passion as me, because you know, from the same background of like being a street dancer. My whole thing was just watching music videos from TV and freestyling in my bedroom non-stop. It was weird because my jazz teacher at the time, I can honestly say that she was the one that put me on that platform a bit, because she saw something that probably nobody else actually saw, if you know what I mean. Apart from my GCSE dance teacher, even though he predicted me a C. The thing is, her name was Katie, I think it was Katie P, jazz teacher. And she was still performing. She wasn't a shoulda, woulda, coulda, if you know what I mean. She was still a dance teacher that was going out making a living out of her career. And I think she was like, there's times that she couldn't come into school because she was performing somewhere, I think like Sadler's Wells and stuff. I remember she pulled me and other few girls in my class to one side and was just like, oh, there's an audition, this company called Zoo Nation. And I really feel like you should go to it because I feel like, you know, you'll be really good and da 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 da. And I was like, oh yeah, that's cool, you know, I'm gonna go, whatever. So obviously I couldn't just like go because obviously I'm in school times and stuff. So I asked the head of year of dance, her name was Rebecca, and I said, Rebecca, there's an audition that I'd like to go to, can I go? And she was like, is it for Royal Ballet? And I was like, no. She goes, oh, what is it for? And I said, oh, it's for like a hip hop company. And then she was just like, no, like you can't go. And I was just like, oh, what the hell? I said, I bet you any money if it was for a royal company, you would have made me go, but because it's hip hop, you didn't. So obviously me being me, I just called in sick. Went to the audition and stuff. You don't really hear things back just like that. They had time to like tell you if you've got it or not. So obviously I came back into school and then my jazz teacher again told me about another audition. It was for Nike and she was like, I think you should go because it's for freestyling and it's a battle. Okay, cool, yeah. I want to go. Obviously I had to ask my teacher again, you know, the head of year. I said to her, can I please go to this audition? Again, she asked me the stupid same question, is it for Royal Ballet? And I'm thinking, no, like I'm coming into this school because I want different training, but it's not what I want to do, if you know what I mean. My blood, my soul is just being a free spirit dancer, not just being boxed as ballet, this, that, or whatever. She said to me, well, street dancing is not gonna get you anywhere. I looked into myself, I was thinking you should be pushing and encouraging your students to want to do what they want to do, especially in the path of dancing. I literally dropped out of college. I was just like, this is just not me. I can't be listening to someone that's so negative, if you know what I mean. And I was so glad that I listened to my jazz teacher. I went to the audition, loads of girls, everyone's dancing, we're battling throughout the whole day. And this was like such a big thing. It was such a huge thing back then. One girl won it, and her name was Clara, French girl, an amazing house dancer, amazing freestyler, amazing dancer all around. I was a bit upset that she won, to be honest. I was like, oh, you know, I wanted that title, I wanted to win and stuff. But at the end of the day, it was a blessing in disguise because even though she won it, they made a girl group out of it, a Nike girl group, and we were called D-Clash. And it was 10 of us. It was fun. Like we had Kenrick Sandy that was the choreographer, and then we had Kimberly J that was an assistant choreographer, but she was still a part of the whole team, if you know what I mean. So we used to use her dance studio that she had. She used to oversee us. The girl group was fun. We used to go to like Paris to battle, get like loads of free Nike clothes. We would have boxes sent to our houses with just bare Nike stuff. When I say it was a blessing in disguise with Clara, it's because she was in a group and I learned so much from her. And I even learned so much from the other girls being in a group because we were all different. Like we wasn't just like, you know, as you might say, the normal group. Everyone had something to bring that was so different. I think the only reason why I left is because I went on to doing a tour with Major Lazer, and that happened for like 5 years, but within the 5 years with Major Lazer I was dipping in and out, doing other stuff, which Diplo was actually supportive of, which was really nice. Even though I used to watch music videos as a young child, I did start really late. So my first battle was when I was 16. Miss Dynamite, she had like a dance competition years ago in Camberwell, and it was like loads of kids and loads of groups and stuff. It was a good thing. I came first within the solo category, and that's when I met Starboy Nathan. And him and his dad at the time approached me and he was like, you're a dope freestyler. I want you to like dance in my music video. Baby, won't you come into my room? But he said, but the only thing is I've got a choreographer and I've got other dancers and you're gonna have to audition. And I'm thinking in my head, this is when I was 16. I was like, audition? Never been like, okay, never had to learn somebody else's routine and be amongst that sort of environment to audition for actual big music video. It went downhill. I couldn't pick up anything. I wore the wrong clothes. I was just like a hot mess. And obviously didn't get it, but I wasn't upset. I wasn't upset by it because I thought, do you know what, it's my first audition, you have to learn. When I went into college, that's how I learned about huskies. Husky Studio in Elephant Castle. When I said that I had my friends were the one that said to me, we should go to Huskies. And I'm like, where's Huskies? And Huskies is an elephant. Now back then, when I was in college, before I dropped out, I used to save my lunch money. So my mum would give me a specific amount of money for me to have my lunch and for me to travel. That's it, nothing else. So I used to not have lunch just to save my little £5 money so I can go pay it to go dance class outside of college. It was hard. There's times that I was hungry, there's times that I was thirsty, but I was like, I know why I'm doing it. Like, I'm not doing it for the fun of it. I'm doing it because like, it's a passion. It's beyond just having fun. It's now I'm hungry for it. All the stuff that I had to sacrifice, at the end of the day, for me, it was worth it. Because sometimes, like in life, you just have to hustle through certain things for you to get to where you need to get to. And I didn't know back then that I really could make a career, but I just knew that I just had the drive and the passion for dancing and only just dancing. My first dance class that I went was, I think it was on a Monday or Tuesday night, and it was £5 for 4 hours. And we had different dance teachers. So I would have like Simeon, I would have Jasmine, I would have Kofi, I would have like Jay, Turbo, Kim, Ashley, Mukta. Back then, and even till now, there were big names of dance teachers coming in to teach. I just remember messing up all the time, but I didn't care. I was at the front dying, if you know what I mean. When in dance terms, if you're at the front making a mistake, you have to be at the back. Now, but back then, you could be at the front making a mistake because no one's filming and no one's judging you, if you know what I mean. You had time to grow. This one guy pulled me to one side, one of the teachers, and he said to me, you know, you've got so much energy and stuff, you just need to learn how to control it and to make it compact. And I was like, okay, cool, yeah. Took it on board, tried to take it on board really, but I just went there every week, non-stop, just to keep on growing and just to find me as a dancer, as an entertainer. So obviously, back then, when I was still in college, used to go, finish college at 5, leave, get the bus straight to Huskies, back and forth. I used to be so tired. And that was just my way through, just like hustling. That's when I had a phone call to be into the Zoo Nation company. And it was a different field for me because I was such a bang out dancer. They were quite different because they were very more mellow. And I did learn a lot from being there because I remember Kate, she pulled me to one side and she was just like, you're not being yourself when you're dancing, when you're learning our choreography, why is that? And I said, it's because it's so different for me. I'm such a hard hitter dancer, it's hard for me to strip it back. And then she said to me, learn it how you perform. And then she goes, the only thing is, when someone's so big with their dancing, it's easier to mold them to be more mellow. Then when someone's very mellow, it's hard to build them up. So when I learned it how I needed to learn it. And then I waited for her to say, okay, Suzette, that bit's good, but what now you need to do is strip it back a bit, like settle into the music a bit, if you know what I mean. And then for me, it just clicked into my head like, okay, that's good. I've got someone that knows what they're saying and what they're doing. And that's what I was trying to say. From the shoulda, woulda, couldas, from the dance college, you know, I had people that was in their environment and in their field that knew what they were talking about. Not trying to like disrespect the dance teachers back then. I felt like they just learned from a book and not from the experience. And for me, I love learning from people who has the experience than from a book. If everyone did everything by a book every single day, the world would be a boring place. I started hanging out now in East London. So because I hanged out in East London, that's when I started to transition into being in a dance group called Boy Blue. So Boy Blue Entertainment run by Kenrick Sandy. And for me, I felt that was my home. I was just like, I love this. The whole environment of it wasn't just now learning routines, it was the environment. It felt like a family. Everyone's learning, everyone's having fun, you know. And then from then, there was an audition for Pied Piper. And I did Pied Piper. And that was at Stratford Theatre Royal. And we won an Olivia Award for it. And I used to be so like, oh my God, Kenrick Sandy, you know what I mean? And in my head, I used to think, I want to be in your position, but I've got plenty of time to go. Because back then, he was actually only 25 when he won that Olivia Award. Because I was younger, I used to think, oh, he's old, I've got plenty of time. If you know what I mean? And then now looking back at it, it's like, no, like time goes so fast. There was an audition that my friend told me to go to, and this was for Thrill Alive. I went to the audition and I rocked up in a basketball jersey. I think it was a bright yellow vest, red basketball shorts and bright yellow trainers. Looking back, I can't believe I even got the job through wearing that. I rocked up being me. I rocked up being this girl from South London that hanged out in East London, and I actually got it. It was a world tour. So it was a world tour that happened for a year doing Thriller. It was good, it was really good, but I really wanted to duck out halfway through the tour because I felt like it was limited me. Because if you're like a mile away from London or whatever, there's certain jobs that you couldn't do just to break it up in between. Because I did a job for Basement Jaxx. The lead guy for Basement Jaxx called me saying that he wants me to do a live show for them. But obviously I was on tour with Thriller, and I remember asking, can I just, they say they will pay for my flight to travel there and they'll pay for my flight right back to where I am. Can I please like go and do this show and come back? And they said no. And I was like, what? I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, all right, we've got loads of dancers here. Me not being here, nothing's gonna happen, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, fair enough, I'm grateful that I'm dancing, but my passion is not just being in a West End. My passion is dancing behind an artist, if you know what I mean. You could get stuck into that whole thing of making that money every week. Like, we was on good money every week, but I was just thinking that money's just not good enough. Like, not to be disrespectful, but I'm dancing behind fake Michael. You know what I mean? When I wanna be dancing behind the true artist that inspires me. Not listening to doom, doom, doo, doo, doom, doom, doo, doo, doom. That's how it was in the West End. But when you listen to it, you know, the Michael Jackson's tune, just like boom, 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 doom, 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 it gives me more like fire and funk and flavor. And like, I just wanted to get back into that Suzette mode. Like, when I hear music, I'm like this. Not like if I hear the music, I'm like, oh, I'm just so over it now. And I feel like for me, that was my time. I was like, I don't want to be doing a job that I'm like, okay, I'm going on stage just to make the money. I want to go on stage because that's the fire that's in me to want to be on that stage. My barbers told me, he says he write down a lot of things that he wants to do, and he will set himself a goal every year. It might not be something crazy, but it will be something believable. So obviously, he will just write down things like, let's just say, you know, save $1,000 a year, or, you know, something like that, which you can do, if you know what I mean, you put your mind to it. And my thing was to dance for Jessie J, to dance for JLS, and to choreograph a girl group. And the reason why is because I didn't go to the Jessie J Do It Like a Dude audition, and it really messed me up because I was thinking, oh, I would have loved to have been in that music video. There was another dancer that had short hair back then, and everyone used to think that was me. And I'm like, no, that's not me, that's another dancer, man. And I used to be so like, oh, I wish I was in that video, because that video was gully, and it was just so me. JLS, the reason being, is because at that time I got asked to go to audition, and it was going to be a private audition, very small, for them to use girls on their tour. And I remember being asked to do it, and I had to turn it down because I was on a contract doing Thriller. And it really messed me up because I could have just been dancing behind the artist and doing what I love. The reason being to choreograph a girl group was because that's when the transition started to hit. I felt like, oh, I actually want to be more creative with my dancing. As soon as I left that show, Thriller, I did all three things. I danced for Jessie J, Britain's Got Talent, and I was like, wow, okay, yes, Suzette, you know, 1 down, 2 to go. And then I ended up dancing for JLS, and I think it was Red or Black. It was a TV show called Red or Black, and I did that. Then I got asked to do the music video. It was my first actual choreography job. It was a girl group called Bellamy. And Bellamy, they were the first group that Simon Cowell put together on the X Factor. At the time when they got kicked out of the show, they now became a free, and then they transitioned of making that girl group into like, you know, doing a music video and whatnot. My really, really, really good friend was the video producer on it. And that was her first job. And up until now, me and her still work together. And we went to school together. It was just the other day, I was on my laptop and I was looking back through all my old work. And I went, oh my God, this was like my first video that I choreographed, Bellamy. And I sent it to my friend Amalia. She was like, wow, this was my first video that I produced. And I was like, look at us. We came up from being at secondary school to now doing what we love doing. And then from there, that's when things changed. With age, I have loads of people saying to me, am I too old to start? And they could be 18, or they could be even like in their 20s, I'm too old. And I'm like, you're never too old. If you've got a passion for it, if you're talented, go for it. Like, I believe you can work a 9-to-5 job and still do what you need to do, but on the sideline. There was a time that I was working in Marks and Spencer's, you know, working in Marks and Spencer's in the morning, going to college, and then going to dance class after, repeating it. And then I had myself a 9-to-5 job working in Storm watches. From Storm, finish at 7, go to rehearsals to 11 o'clock at night, repeating the same thing again. With age and with anything that you do, if you put your mind and go to it, you can just do what you have to do, if you know what I mean. I just don't believe in having excuses to be like, I can't do it, because if you really want to do it, you'll find a way to do it. If you really want to get that pair of trainers, you will find that money. If you're young at heart, that will live on, if you know what I mean. If you start to have age in your head, you're just gonna start thinking all the stupid thing what life tries to like mold you in. Like, oh, at the age of 30 you should have kids, at the age of 30 you should have a car, at the age of 30 you should have mortgage, if you know what I mean. Why are you limiting yourself? I will do what I need to do at my time. Don't let anything pressure you. I feel like within my craft, which I'm lucky, which we're all lucky in as dancers, is that, you know, you can be a dancer, you can teach, you can choreograph, you can be a creative director. You could be so many different things that could lead you into anywhere. You can even turn into being a director yourself. I feel like with school, as like to say with college, it didn't really teach you that. It just taught you how to point your toes. For me personally, that's why I dropped out. I didn't hear all the stuff that really inspired me to be like, wow, I don't just need to be a dancer. You know, I could run my own company, I could do my own theatre show, or I could do this. I learned this through going out into the real world and seeing things and hearing things from other people. When people say, oh, it's not what you know, is who you know, it's quite true. It's because when you go out and expand and you go out and your mind is very open to things, you will take in so much things and you will grow as a person and you will learn. And I never feel like you can never stop learning. For me, age is nothing but a number. What being a choreographer has taught me most about myself is that you can never stop being creative. It's taught me a lot, and that's through working with different people. Like I said before, you keep on growing. I was a dancer and a choreographer at MIA, her Bad Girls video. My agent at the time, Free Your Style, told me to go as, you know, as a dancer. Went there as a dancer, few other girls as well. And then I got an email asking if I wanted to not just be a dancer, but to be a choreographer. And it would have been alongside somebody else as well. And I was just like, okay, cool, yeah, of course. We was in rehearsals and stuff, and MIA, she literally, it was so inspiring because she knew her stuff. She wasn't just an artist that just came and you just said 5, 6, 7, 8 to, if you know what I mean. She knew exactly what she wanted. We did our research, and the research was not looking at dancers, professional dancers, it was just looking at culture, looking at different cultures' style of moving. It wasn't like you had to be perfect. I'm not just learning from a dancer, I'm not just learning from a choreographer, I'm actually learning from an actual singer, an artist. We did our research and everything, and we made like different dance styles. So something like this would be we called it the light bulb. We just did like different swaggy things. It was so cool. Like that whole experience, it was like at least a week we did. And it wasn't just dancing in rehearsals, it was literally just studying our thing. She even said, you know, you've got the true entertainers, that some of them, it doesn't just come from just like that, it comes from doing your research. Back then when I did it, I was young, if you know what I mean. I was really young doing that video. The whole foundation of it was just building just like that for it to become what it is. This is what I love to do. I love to perform and I love to create. I love to be a choreographer. But it's so nice when somebody else is passionate about it that you can collaborate with, especially as an artist, because I feel like two heads are sometimes better than one. And you know, it's like when I'm in a studio, I need to bounce off people. I need to bounce off the dancers. I need to bounce off, you know, the artists. And I need things to bounce off. And it's not taking people idea. I'm just talking about the energy, the vibe. We don't work 9 to 5 wearing the suits, wearing the normal clothes, if you know what I mean. Like, we're doing stuff that we love doing. So what's the point now coming into a rehearsal room being like restricted and waiting for me to go 5, 6, 7, 8? Like, I need that energy to bounce off. I remember I was in a Rimmel commercial for Cara Delevingne, and I had a moment to myself. I was just thinking, I used to be the girl that used to come home early from school to watch the making of. And the making of was on MTV. So you have the making of like Oops, Did It Again, the making of like You Drive Me Crazy, Britney Spears and stuff. Like I said, I'm a big fan, so I used to always be like, oh, how did they do that and everything? And I used to be so inspired by it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so sick. But even still then, I still at that young age didn't think I wanted to be a dancer, I wanted to be a choreographer, I wanted to do what I'm doing now. It was just more of a thing. I was so fascinated of what went on behind the scenes. And for me, up until this day, it's like I still prefer to see what goes on behind the scenes than the finished product, because the finished product has been cut and pasted and edited and it's like, oh yeah, fairy tale, you know what I mean? It's like dream come true when you don't see the blood, sweat and tears that have to go behind the certain things to make that thing that you're watching just like glamorous. And I remember I started getting teary when I was on that Rimmel set, and I was thinking, wow, like I used to be that young girl coming home to watch the making of, and they were filming on the Rimmel set, like behind the scenes. And I'm thinking, now I'm living in that dream. I'm now that person that's in the making of, if you know what I mean? And I'm like, wow, like life can really take you to certain places if you just let it happen, but still work at the same time for it. Okay, so a typical day for me, will me being on my laptop and going through my emails. Sometimes I'll be up from 8:30 in the morning, just sorting out work and everything. So for instance, I'll have certain of my dancers that will get in touch and will, for instance, will say, oh, hi Suzette, I've just got new photos in. Or they'll say, oh, I would love to assist you in other jobs and stuff. And so they'll send me in different photos to update their stuff so I can send it off to clients and whatnot. I got an email from a casting director that was asking me, it's for an actual Rimmel shoot, looking for dark-skinned black girls and the fee and what's going on, this and that, you know, photos and everything. And a mum just got in contact with me saying, thank you for the opportunity, giving my daughter, giving her, you know, the more hard work of basically of how the industry's working. And then she's just wondering how we can go about getting on your agent or something, or that she can tend to regular castings. So it's mostly, this basically is because I just did the FA commercial and they required young dancers, younger kids, and obviously the parents are obviously dealing with the kids and stuff. So one of the parents has just got in contact with me just to say thank you for giving my daughter the opportunity for coming to the casting. Things like that is really nice, you know. I feel like that's more like one of the rewarding things, is when it's not like I'm giving back. I'm not giving back to anything, if you know what I mean, but it's giving everyone the opportunity. Certain other agents might not put certain people through because either that is not what they are looking for, but for me, it's more about if you're talented, I'm gonna put you through for certain jobs, if you know what I mean, because at the end of the day, it's talent that what wins. I learned a lot from taking things, and it's not taking things to like take away and hide and like, this is mine now. It was more of taking things of just growing as an individual, growing as an artist, growing as a dancer, growing as whatever I wanted to be. For instance, when I worked with Frank Jackson, when I was doing Coldplay as a dancer, and his stories that he was telling with Beyonce, with Michael Jackson, that's inspiring as a young dancer. And I'm like, literally listening to him, like I wanted to grow, I wanted to learn. I didn't care of standing up, learning choreography. I wanted to learn through how his vision was, of how he created things, of how, you know, what made him the sort of person that he is today to work with these artists. It wasn't a thing like I cared about, you know, he's met these sort of people or he's done that with, it was just more just like him as an individual. Like, it's amazing. For me growing as a choreographer and for me being a choreographer, I had to go through different stages, you know, it didn't just happen overnight, which everyone thinks, especially in this day and age, is that they can wake up and they can just be this famous person. It can be, yeah, you can be whatever you want to be, but at the end of the day, things don't just happen just like that. You have to work for it. Like I said, I had to hear the no's through my dance teacher. I had to hear the no's going into auditions when I was younger. You know, people always think, oh, it's the choreographer that should inspire you, or it should be the person that's, you know, no, like, me being a choreographer today, I'm still inspired by dancers. I'm inspired by the young kids. The young kids are the future. The young kids are bringing the game, you know. There's times I'm watching YouTube and I'm like, oh my God, this kid, I would, like, there's times I'm like, I'm not even gonna battle you. No way am I gonna, you know what I mean? Like, because we're all still growing. And me being a choreographer, like, I can't just sit here and say, oh yeah, I know it all, you know? No, I don't. Because at the end of the day, in this world, we grow as individuals, and hopefully we can grow together to create just the illest things. And I'm so passionate about my work. It's like, when I talk, it's just like, I'm a freelancer. You can have a day that you don't do anything. You can have days and weeks that you're doing so many crazy things that literally you're like, oh, you know, you don't know where your mind's at. But the thing with me, I don't just wait for a phone call or wait for, you know, anyone telling me, oh yeah, you're booked on this, or you're booked on that. I try to be one step ahead all the time and create that work for myself. Right now, I'm updating my website and everything. I've got a website already, but because I like to better myself, I'm gonna better my website, because at the end of the day, that's a part of me. That's what people go into to check my work. So if they're gonna check on it, it needs to be updated and it needs to be absolutely amazing. Having a website is so important, especially for me in my field. It just looks professional. And if anyone types in my name on Google, type in Suzette Brissett, then that's the first thing that will pop up as my website with my work. Quite old, that's why I'm revamping it, making it very just like modern and whatnot. But this is just my bio page. You know, it's got, you know, a little introduction of who I've worked with and what I've done and everything and whatnot. Then it comes straight into my show reel. So if people don't want to look through certain things, they can go straight and see what I've done with my show reel. It's got choreography, so I've just went into music videos. And these are all the music videos that I've done. So my current one, that's on here, that's just been released, is like, for instance, Mick Jagger. And then we've got Skepta, Little Mix, MIA, Jennifer Hudson, Dua Lipa, Craig David, Jeremiah, Krypton Conan, Lilly Allen, you know, just loads of different ones, Laura Mavula, Conor Maynard, even Jessica Wright from Towie. Yeah, and even like sometimes people don't even know like Jeannie G. I don't know if anyone remembers her. Jeannie G. She died. Ooh, just a little bit. Ooh, a little bit more. So it all varies with all the clients that I have. My favourite client that I've worked with, I'll probably say MIA. And even when I had the chance, when she performed with Jay-Z, Jay-Z was actually really nice. I shook his hand and I said, I'm so happy you're humble. And I walked away thinking, why the hell did I say that? And I went straight over to MIA and I was like, I just said to Jay-Z, I'm so happy he's humble. And she just went, don't worry about it. Like, that's actually a nice thing. But it's just because he was a nice, humble guy. And I was just like, wow, like someone so big as him could be just so down to earth and just cool. And he had the softest hands ever. His hands are so soft. I was quite concerned. Realistically, I do my own show reels myself. So if you go onto my website and then you see my show reel, it's what I did myself. I learned how to do it myself on iMovie. It's hard because obviously you're seeing a 3 minute of a music video and you want to capture the best bits. So for instance, I will go across and then I'll be like, okay, you want them to see, okay, it's Little Mix, but then you still want them to see like movement and whatnot. So I'll just do something like this, get it, boom, 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 whatever, put it there. And then I obviously would have to do the title, if you know what I mean. So I might get the title. This is not obvious, this is just a rough little sketch. I put SUZETTE, and then I'll do like choreographer, might do a little bit of Little Mix, and then I might just go, do you know what, yeah, let me add in a bit of something else that I've done. So I did this on my own, on this laptop. So this is literally everything that I've sat down behind a computer doing, because if you have a show reel, it's easier sometimes I think than having a website, because everything is just, you know, narrowed down into like 3 minutes or like 2 minutes, whatever. Someone's just looking at all your work and being like, oh, okay, cool. And then you get to, so this was, so for instance, this was one of my biggest achievements. This is really cool. So basically last year I did Little Mix live performance on X Factor when I did Shout Out to My Ex. And Simon Cowell tweeted and he Instagrammed. That was one of the best performances ever seen on the X Factor. Congratulations, Little Mix. And it's like, yeah, people acknowledge it because they watch it, but then for somebody else, as someone like Simon Cowell, to really acknowledge it, to be like, you know, that what I created was one of the best things he's ever seen on his live show on the X Factor. And the girls were amazing to work with. Like, the thing with these 4 girls, they're all individually talented. They're not just like one lead singer that can sing, they all can sing, and they're all really passionate and they're really good at what they do. And it was amazing working with them and just having that whole, it was just like more of a teamwork. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was a team effort from all of us for Simon Cowell to acknowledge it and to say that. Basically, that's what I'm just trying to say. It was like my choreography, by the end of the day, the girls performed it. The girls sang their hearts out live. You know what I mean? They didn't mime it, they sang it live. They were in rehearsal, sweating their arse off. They were, you know, they're the one that basically did my vision on that stage. The one song that I can think of right now is
nigga X about me, nigga X about me, nigga X about me, nigga X about me. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler, homie.
I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler, I'm a hustler, homie. X about me. Reason? Yes, because I'm a hustler. You know, from my social media or just from knowing me, just think, oh, she's so lucky she get to do this and everything. And oh, you know, some people might think, oh, I might have to like take people's jobs from them, brush up amongst the stars just to get to where I need to get to. Like, I'm so not that sort of person. I always like to make sure that my work speaks for itself. And with me, it's just like, I just try to be me as much as possible. It's like, I'm just a fun person that, you know, I believe in like having fun but still getting the work done at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like, I can be the crazy person and you know, fun and laughter. People think, oh yeah, I've got this job because I knew that person, I got the job because of that person and whatnot. Majority of the times I still have to send off show reels or send off, you know, different things to a director, and having to have them be like, okay, yeah, we can trust you for this work, if you know what I mean, and because I'm not just the only choreographer in the world. There's millions of talented choreographers that's out there, and you still have to fight for your job at the end of the day, if you know what I mean. It's so weird because, like, I remember I did a job, my friend Amalia, video producer, is for Lilly Allen, like Hard At Hair video, and she told me about it. And then obviously the director wanted to see me, and I sent off my stuff, and he was like, yeah, your work is good, but because for the video we want it to be twerkers and this and that. And I had to fight, literally, even though she was my friend that told me about the job, I still had to fight for my job. And reason being is because the director was like, you know, we want it to be twerking. Are you sure you can you know, teach people? And I'm thinking, I just did Major Lazer Tour for like 5 years on and off. You crazy? Like, we're the one who probably created the twerking scene that's so crazy right now. And then, yeah, it was like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, we might have to shoot it in America. Why? Because, you know, the style of dances that we want, I think it could only be set in America. And I'm like, are you actually kidding me? We can get the talent out here. The talent is in the UK. You're just looking in the wrong places for certain things, if you know what I mean. If I'm gonna look for crumpers, I'm not gonna go to, you know, the Royal Ballet company and say, and hold an audition there, if you know what I mean. Like, you just need to find the right craft somewhere else. And I was like, no. I'm telling you this from now, we can get those dancers and we can have the video shot over here instead of you spending all that money to fly to America to find all these American. Like, sometimes it's so annoying because I feel like people always put like the UK industry or the UK talent down here and think, no, I feel like we got the talent. And I feel like it's so annoying because it's like the UK talent, it's so it's so big, it's so huge, and it's only, it annoys me, like American, yeah, it's so talented. American's a big place and stuff, but if we don't believe in ourselves within our field, then how else is anyone else going to respect us? And I remember I held the audition, I held it, I got the right dances in, and then they booked the girls for the job and stuff, and I was like, boom, boom, boom. I told you, you don't need to go to America to do this video shoot. You don't need to go to America to find these dancers. We have it in the UK. Brah. Anyone can be a dancer. Anyone can be a singer. You know what I mean? Like, you should never just feel like you're up there and that's it. If you don't keep working, somebody else is going to climb to the top and take it. When I'm telling you this from now, the dance industry with the younger kids, they are hungry. They are probably hungry more than when I was younger. It's because it's such a big, broadened thing out there. Dancing is not just dancing anymore. Dancing is like a whole entertainment thing. You'll go to a concert, and I'm telling you this from now, majority of the concerts that you go to, they are backing dancers. They are backing dancers that are doing what they're doing and whatnot. And you might think, I'm only here to watch Chris Brown. Realistically, you're taking in all the stuff that Chris Brown's doing with his backing dancers, or like himself is dancing. I feel like if you're too complacent, somebody else is gonna want to win that title. I've created Suzette Brissett Creatives. That's an agency I'm running by myself. It's nothing that overnight just thought of doing. For me, it's like, why haven't I done this? Made it more a stamp to do. Because when I was doing, let's just say Major Lazer, you know, I would sometimes have to provide the dancers. When I did Lilly Allen's world tour, I provided the dancers, even though I was choreographing for it. You know, when I was doing MIA, her live show with Jay-Z and stuff, I the one who, you know, provided some of the dancers and looked after them and whatnot. So throughout the years, I've always been looking after providing dancers with work and providing myself with work. Or like, there's many times where not agencies, like there's many times where directors or, you know, casting directors will be to me, oh, Suzette, do you know any dancers? Or like, I know you're choreographing on the job, but I know you might know other people that might be really good for the job. Can you, like, you know, and I'm like in my head thinking, I've been doing this for years, providing people with dancers. It makes sense for me to just make a stamp on it. Dealing with my money, my financial stuff, you know, dealing with my invoices, dealing with, you know, loads of emails upon emails I keep on getting, phone calls, oh, you're available for this day, or can you look at this treatment? I'm looking at the treatment, or looking at the location, can you come with me to look at the location? I'm looking at the location with the, you know, it's just always non-stop with different things. And it's like, you know, yeah, I might not sometimes be on set, but behind the scenes, I'm still working before the end product, if you know what I mean. And it does take a lot of time, but at the end of the day, it's always worth it. And it's nice when clients don't just look at you as just like, okay, you're just a choreographer. They look at you just like, do you know what, yeah, you are the person that's gonna mold this together, so we trust in you. And it's always nice when the clients trust in me being a choreographer, but then when they trust me providing my dancers as well. If you know what I mean, that's more of a bonus to be like, okay, you trust me on my work, but then you trust my judgment on the people that I can bring to the table to make this an epic video. I get this all the time. How do I go into agencies, or how do I get into your books, or how did you get to where you got to? And my thing is for me personally, it's just a simple foundation for dancers. I always say, if you've got your pictures, if you've got a show reel, then you can start feeling confident in yourself to start approaching different people. The phone call, hi, my name's da-da-da-da-da, I'm a dancer. People always think, oh, for you to get up into the game as a dancer, that you might just have to realistically, I don't know, have to do a big job for people to see you. No, you can go into your back garden, film yourself, do 1-2-1-2 routine. And the thing is as well, there's so many good dance classes that's out there where people can learn from. You know, get someone to film you doing a class, you know, learning somebody else's choreography. Then you can send it off to agencies and whatnot. If you've got the right aura and the mentality of people knowing, okay, you're the real deal, then you can get far. Within this game, with any sort of entertainment game and stuff, or field, you just have to be professional, you know? Like, time is money for other, you know what I mean? Like, you turning up late, it's not a good look. You know, you not getting the job done, it's not a good look. You know, you messing around, it's just not a good look. I always say to my dancers, especially if I'm with them, I'm just like, you know, even though they will never do it, but I always say, do you know what, don't be asking the artist for photos. At the end of the day, you are an artist yourself. And once you remember that, then the people will respect you more. Things just need to flow naturally when you're working with people. And I feel like people, especially artists, they will respect you more and want to work with you more because they just know you're not just in it for the fame or just because you're working with them. You're in it because you're good at your craft and you love what you do. My moment of wonder was having my mum say to me, oh, I don't want you to be a dancer, why can't you just pick up a book and, you know, be a lawyer and all that stuff. Hearing all of that negative things, and I remember I was grafting. I remember it was a T-Mobile commercial. We were working till like crazy hours because obviously we was doing it at Liverpool Street Station. I remember I got offered an actual job. So I actually left my 9-to-5 job back then when I was trying to hustle, trying to do the dancing and, you know, working 9-to-5. And I left my 9-to-5 job because that person said I would get this dancing job. When it came to the crunch, I didn't get it. I'm like, you told me that I would actually have this job. You know full well that I had to leave my job to get to where I need to get to. From that was a turnaround. I'm not gonna wait on anybody. I will get certain jobs up until now as a big grown-ass woman. Someone will tell me, you are doing this job, Suzette. Until when I'm there, or until when the money's in my bank account, then I know that I've done the job. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's because things can just go just like that. You know what I mean? And in my field, there's no contracts. Majority of the time it's literally, can you turn up tomorrow? Can you get this? Can you get that? Da, 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 da. I'm not waiting on anyone. I'm not even gonna hear this person say to me, yeah, you're definitely gonna get it, and then not get it. That made me even push even harder. You're telling me street dancing is not gonna get me anywhere. Street dancing and commercial dancing and all the style of dances is what's paying my bills right now. When someone is so negative with their talks, yeah, I love it, because I just love to prove people wrong. It's a cutthroat industry. You will hear no's non-stop. You will hear somebody's better than you, or somebody's doing this, or somebody's doing that. Oh yeah, we're gonna use somebody else because da 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 da. Okay. Everything happens for a reason. I just wait for my time. The other day, I had one phone call, and the phone call was, we really want you, and the clients want you, and da 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 da. But unfortunately, you know, things never worked out. A few hours later on, I had a phone call. Hi, yeah, this is the director. We're working on Sam Smith's video, and we want you to be the choreographer, and we saw your show reel, we thought your show reel was amazing, Like a few hours ago, if he ever knew that I just got turned down for something, how life is just crazy like that. And sometimes them no's, it can break you. If you're just a positive person, trust me, something else will be there to lift your spirit, and it might not just be there within an hour or 20, like whatever it is, it could be 3 years down the line, but something will open the door for you. My name is Suzette Brissett, and you have just seen the wonders that have just got me here today.